This is Eric from Pack Hacker, and today we're taking a look at the Nitecore NB10000 Gen 3, which I've been testing for the past 2 weeks. Let's dive in. So this is the third iteration of Nitecore's NB10000 series of battery banks. As you can see, we still carbon fiber. I don't think they're going to change that anytime soon. Very lightweight, very durable, and in none of the 3 versions have we had any issues with the carbon fiber cracking or breaking or anything like that. So it really does work well, and we haven't had any issues with the shell of these at all. It's a very good design, and it just fits in your pocket really nicely, I think. So we do have some changes. The corner here is now like a rubberized plastic on all 4 corners. That was something we didn't love about the previous versions of this battery bank, is that they're a little bit pointy. So they were able to address that by adding some plastic, or like soft plastic there. I do worry in the long run that this is not going to be as durable as previous battery banks and other battery banks from Nitecore in general. Like the Carbo doesn't have that because it's a more rounded look. Because this is plastic and not carbon fiber, so in theory it could peel off, or like it could just eventually wear down. So that's something to think about if you're trying to buy a battery bank you're going to keep for 5 years. It hasn't happened yet. It showed no signs of doing it, but just in my experience with a material like that is eventually it might wear down or it might peel off or something like that. But as I said, no real issues to report yet. So another big change is that we have 2 USB-C ports. So these are both in and out, so you can charge the device with this, and you can also charge devices with both ports. So I really like that because on a lot of battery banks, you have only one that you can do in and out, and the other one is just out. So you're kind of limited to what you can do with that, especially if you have like a USB-C and a USB-A. But these are both USB-C, they're both in and outs. Works very well, no problems to report with that. We have the same kind of charging scheme here that you'll see with other Nitecore battery banks. You have 4 lights and it indicates how much charge there is. Obviously it's about 25% per little light. And if it's flashing and the last one is flashing, it means you're, I think, less than 10%. So that means you need to charge up pretty quick because you hardly have any battery left. So this is 10,000 milliamps. So depending on your device, like a new modern iPhone, you're probably going to get 2 charges and then maybe just a little bit, depending on if you're using your phone or if the phone, like how much you're using it while you're charging and stuff like that. You might just get 2. Really depends on your usage. I've charged my Nintendo Switch with this. Obviously, it's not going to be the fastest charge for devices that can accept faster than, I believe it's 22.5 I have in my notes there, output. So there are some devices that are going to want more than that. Like I wouldn't charge a laptop with this or anything like that. But for just charging on the go, or if you're charging overnight while you're camping or something like that, this does a pretty good job in my opinion. But if you are looking for something to charge like a laptop, this is probably not the best battery bank for you. So it is 2 USB-C, but it comes with an adapter. So this is USB-C to USB-A. It's just like when I first got this, like it took me a while to wrap my head around that this is one of the lightest and just best battery banks, that is currently on the market in my opinion. And I know that we kind of have that idea here at Pack Hacker, but then this dongle is just kind of huge and like cumbersome to use because it's so big. I mean, it's almost as long as the battery bank is itself. So just not the most packable. I mean, it'll fit inside your tech pouch and stuff like that, but they do make different dongles that might work better for you. But again, it just comes down to how you're going to use this thing and what you're going to use it for. But the plugs do hold on to things pretty well. I'll kind of shake this just to show you that it's not coming out super easily. I have done this and it's popped out a few times, but they hold on to cables pretty well, and the dongle as well just kind of shows like the durability of this thing. So if you are going to be using USB-A cables, you can buy this and it comes with this, but I would either buy a smaller adapter or just buy a USB-C to whatever it is you need adapter, because I do think that this is just a little bit clunky and you really don't need to bring this. You could just get another cable, but again, it does work and this battery bank works. I'm very happy with it, very durable and very lightweight, but that's kind of what we were expecting. So when it comes to size, it is a bit smaller than my phones. This is an iPhone 11. I know I'm a bit behind on the times here, but here it is compared to that with my case. So it is smaller than my phone. It feels kind of similar in size to like a solid state drive, an external solid state drive that you can, like a portable one. Like I have the SanDisk one that a lot of people tell you not to have with the little loop. It feels very similar like in density to that. That one's obviously a little bit smaller, but you can throw this in your pocket. It fits in every sling that I've tried to. I have the small Moment sling, which I think is like a ½ liter or a liter or something like that, and it fits inside there. Taking this thing to, soccer games and stuff like that, I kind of just have it in there with a cable to charge my phone, and it fits really nicely in there. It's gonna fit in your tech pouch. The biggest thing for me is how thin it is. So this is a great size, but if it was this size but like twice as thick, it's not really gonna fit in my phone nearly, or not fit in my phone, fit in my pocket nearly as nicely. So I can put my phone and this in my pocket and it really doesn't feel too out of place. It's a bit big but I don't know, it just fits really nicely in my pocket, fits in your sling, and you're not gonna have any problem finding a place to put this in your travel backpack, your day pack, and in most tech pouches. If you have a really small tech pouch, maybe not, but it should fit either way. So if you are finding this video helpful, make sure you subscribe to the channel so we can continue making content like this to help you travel smarter. So to compare this battery bank to something you might be more familiar with, I have the Gen 1 of the Nitecore NB10000. So this is very similar to the Gen 2, a couple minor differences, but mostly what I'm going off of to show you guys is that they are, the same size. They do look very similar, but again, we have a USB-A port on the older models, the older Gen 1 and Gen 2, whereas we have the two USB-C models on the newest version. So I believe the Gen 2 also has the yellow around the ports, but again, it has a USB-A and not a USB-C. And we have in and out on both of these ports here, whereas at least on this first one, I believe on the second one as well, you just have in and out from the USB-C and not from the USB-A. And we also have a better lighting system on the Gen 2 and the Gen 3. If you're still using the Gen 1, the lighting system might not seem like much, but the separate buttons here that don't bleed as much, I think really are a lot nicer. And the biggest change, obviously other than the USB-C, is that we have these corner little pads now. So these are quite sharp on the Gen 1 and the Gen 2. I mean, I can't really show you that other than just looking at it. But we have these nice pads here now that just make it a lot more comfortable when it's in your pocket, or like if you put this inside of a bag that is like a really soft liner, like in theory, after a long time, this could poke it. Like it's that sharp. It's sharp enough that it could do that. And another minor change, as you can see on the battery bank itself, is a little bit different the way it is attached. So again, and we also have the little like nub here on the end now as well. So just some kind of cosmetic things, but the biggest changes being those corners, and then obviously that we have faster USB-C ports and no USB-A port. And if you want to use USB-A with the new one, you got to bring this adapter to do so. So there you have it, the Nitecore NB10000 Gen 3. Thanks for keeping it here at Pack Hacker. It's your guide to smarter travel. We'll see you in the next one.